You see, it's a beautiful feeling to be able to flip the script instantly. You know what I mean? To go from like it says in the Bible, for instance, to enter the kingdom of heaven, become again like a child. Also says the kingdom of heaven is within you. What does that mean? Obviously, it's multidimensional. Many different interpretations, ways to look at it. I'm also multidimensional. When I say I am, I'm speaking about what fundamentally is. It is what it is. I am. Everything is. It's perfect as it is. But the basis of life is spectrums, and there's so many variations, different degrees of vibration and frequency along that spectrum. And of course, there's the two polar opposites. The one end, the extreme, and then the other end of the extreme. Let's say the masculine, the feminine, the yin and the yang, and it's beautiful to be able to be free within yourself to a point where you understand how people react, and you're conscious of that, and you're conscious for that within yourself, and you've went through a period where you've observed your reactions, your inward reactions and your outward reactions. For example, there was a time my grandfather, it's crazy, you know, wisdom and age are not necessarily synonymous, you know, because he's in his 70s, and I just like I observing him sometimes, like, how do you go through life and not figure stuff out, you know? But he comes up to me and he's like ready to hit me. He's like getting in my face and all mad, and I just stand there completely calm, completely unfazed. Now, it took me a while to get there, as I used to outwardly react. So I would show up my body language, and of course I'd react inwardly as well. So my heart would start racing, and I would, you know, get nervous, and it would show outwardly and inwardly. And then I got to a point where I was like, I'd be able to hide it on the outside, but I was still reacting inwardly. And during this situation, I didn't react at all. I was just completely grounded, present, and observing him objectively without interpreting it any certain way. Just literally just observing him, like, be very emotional over something stupid. And it's funny because I stood there, didn't say anything, then he walked away, stormed off. I went upstairs, did my thing, and like 5-10 minutes I came back downstairs, and he came up to me and apologized to me. And I told him, of course, not emotional at all. I was like, listen, you being miserable is not affecting me. You're only hurting yourself when you do that. Because I'm of a calm temperament. I'm a positive, happy person. So you acting a certain way, trying to project certain negative energy onto me, that's not going to work. I mean, it's like I have an aura of protective energy around me, a force field, if you will. And whenever somebody tries to do something like that, it bounces off, it ricochets, and it's reflected right back to them. And they have to sit with it because it's not affecting me. So it's a double whammy for them. And you know, there's this, I mean, a very in-depth topic of discussion is sexual transmutation, semen retention, which is basically not ejaculating too frequently, to have that in balance and in check. So for me, it's personally, like, I'm a very open dude, so I have no shame in talking about this kind of stuff. And what's up, Bella? Beautiful creature. And yeah, so I schedule it. Like, I'm like, all right, obviously it's not good to never ejaculate. There's got to be a balance. So I schedule it. I'm like, once a week, I have a consistent time. I schedule it. I'm like, and it's a beautiful freeing feeling, not even needing sex, because 99.9% of men's problems would disappear if they were sexually disciplined. And I'm very fortunate to have realized that as a young man, and to have implemented that in discipline, and so now I once a week, Saturday is my pleasure day. So I'll do that, and it's a beautiful thing because I don't need any woman or anything. It's completely. I light some candles. I'm by myself. I'm doing my own thing, and I might put some music on, some romantic music, and it's a form of meditation for me. Like, and it's fun. It's completely fun, and there. So, anyways, what got me kind of off on a little tangent there? This sexual transmutation, when you're not constantly releasing all the time, that energy, that vital force energy. You think about it, the one semen cell can create life. It's powerfully concentrated energy. And when you're constantly releasing that, your body's in a deficit. And then, toxins start accumulating, and all these different systems when you're within your body and biology start slacking and getting in a deficit because it doesn't have the adequate energy to keep that vitality, that virility, that strong sense of power. And when you don't have that perception mentally of empowerment, it is a result of your body feeling weak because you lack that vital force, vitality, energy. So that contributes largely to the fact that I'm non-reactive, and you can try to project shit onto me all you want, but it's not going to work. And there's so many different ways this discussion could go. And it's funny, like I said at the beginning of the video, to enter the kingdom of heaven, become again like a child. I can flip this script instantly. I can go from like happy-go-lucky, feminine, just smiling, just like super caring, compassionate, like I have empathy and literally feel in my heart when the other person's talking to me. Be there present with them, and a genuine sense of care and love, because I can relate. We've all been through the same emotions. It's different situations, people, environment, circumstances, but we've all been through the same stuff, and really we've all felt the same. We're all human, and it's beautiful to be able to relate to people. And when you understand how you tick, naturally you're going to understand how other people tick too, because it seems in appearances would suggest that there's vast differences, but really the differences are very subtle. And when you're really in touch with who you are fundamentally, you're in touch with your soul, spirit, whatever, however you want to talk about it, then by inference you understand that it is the same with other people as well. So this heightened sense of clarity and discernment and understanding allows you to really to be self-aware to the point where you can fall along any point along that spectrum consciously. I didn't say fall. You can consciously go to that. So I can be in that childlike, just super, you call it feminine, whatever, or I can be completely unmoved in the world, but not of it. In my own world, in a mental space right now, as I'm looking at the camera, my attention is zoomed out. So instead, and you notice, so when I blinked, it's almost like a reset. But if you can keep your attention fixed on one thing, unmoving, it allows you to zoom out, and you're in a different, you literally become your environment. Like the environment is an extension of you. So let's say when I'm at the gym, for instance, and I'm in the back on the treadmill, I can be looking at the wall, wall across the room, and I can enter into that headspace where I become the room and everybody in the room. So I can observe everything moving all around me, and my attention isn't fixed on one thing, but it's everywhere simultaneously. So it's very powerful too. Like if you go in the mountains, it's one of the reasons I like hiking is that view at the top, man. When you look off into the vast expanse of the wilderness and Mother Nature, it can literally transform your state of consciousness if you're conscious of it, and even if you're not conscious of it, it can too. And so oftentimes people are, doing these things that they're attracted to. They keep doing them. They might not be conscious of why, but one of the reasons is because that strong, grounded, calm presence of Mother Nature is captivating, and it's I hear the mountains calling my name. Like I know when it's time for me to go out in the forest and go on a hike and walk barefoot on the ground, and it's very powerful stuff. But yeah, it's beautiful to be so self-aware and self-conscious that you can instantly go from being just like nonchalant, whatever, it's like smiley to, and you can read the situation and whatever, and tailor your approach to that situation so that you can be conscious in the interaction, and when you really know yourself deep down, then you know how to act in pretty much any situation. So and it's not, it's kind of counterintuitive. Holy shit, it's already 12 minutes. Damn. See, I was just saying, getting on a flow, I love speaking aloud and talking out loud, so it's you can really look into somebody's eyes and instantly tell. It's telling. I can look at somebody right away, and like it's not judgment. It's it is what it is. You know what I mean? There's never any condemning or judgment. It's all observation. But when you've been through these various states within yourself, and you come full circle, because we come into this world enlightened. We're born enlightened. Then we go through the system. We're processed, right? We go through schooling and all this societal pressure and all this brainwashing and programming and stuff, and oftentimes that sits with people for the rest of their life. They're conditioned and programmed to live in a certain way, and that they never get in tune with that source intelligence within themselves, which enables them to come full circle and become again like a child, but as an adult, with the understanding and the ability to intellectualize and articulate, because there's always that mental element, that mental aspect that seems unfulfilled and unsatisfied if we don't thoroughly understand something. So that's a desire to seek knowledge and understand. And one of my favorite sayings is seek first to understand and then be understood. And that was by Stephen R. Covey. And as a man, I can't relay information that isn't original without giving credit to the person. So I might be talking off the cuff right now, and a lot of the information I've gathered, a lot of it's from inner voice, intuition, and a lot of it's from listening, consuming information. It's a balance. It's the difference between creative imagination and synthetic imagination. Creative imagination is that creative sexual energy, that semen, that inner voice intelligence, that it's a knowing. it's a hunch, and you know automatically. Whereas other information, the synthetic imagination, is accumulated information that you obtain from outside of yourself, other people's insights and perspectives and whatnot. And it's beautiful because that allows us to, in this age of information, we can close the gap on some of the things there might have been a gap in understanding, and we hear something somebody else says, and now it makes sense, because there's like, we had all this, the puzzle pretty much almost put together, and then we were missing a couple pieces, and then hearing that one person say something, just the light bulb goes off. We have that aha moment, that epiphany, and it all makes sense. But mentally, of course, because that's the mental realm, and we gotta, to be a fully integrated human, we have to understand our fourfold nature. On the lowest level, the body, the physical, three-dimensional, the highest density matter. Then we get to the mental sphere, which is a lower density. And then the level above that is emotional, again, lower density. And then spirit, which is, completely intangible, zero matter, zero density. And it's different dimensions, and all unfolding, infused in this one human experience. And when you're conscious of those various aspects of oneself, and you understand them, both intellectually, mentally, and and beyond the mind, because ultimately the mind is an expression of spirit, but we've been conditioned since we're, especially in the Western world, since we're little kids, to identify with our conscious attention. And we think that is us. Like, in other words, identify with the ego as a separate individual. So we're estranged from the world. We're separate from it, as opposed to connected with it. Like I was describing when I'm at the gym, or when I'm anywhere. I can zoom my attention out and enter into that headspace. It's no thoughts, and you're just completely present and grounded in the moment, independent of any external influence. And the key, like a story I relate to you in the beginning with the grandfather, when you can be in that state, when there could be potentially perceived social pressure, somebody coming at you with certain energy, the calm, grounded presence always wins. Because the other person is trying to force something on you. And that calm presence is power. Power always trumps force. In fact, there's a book that really goes into this, profound book. And it definitely, I've had a lot of aha moments. I read the book twice. And the second time around, a lot more. It made sense even more. So it's called Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins. And it really puts things into a certain context. It sheds light upon different dimensions of human experience that is very enlightening. So I didn't really have a plan as to what I was going to say, just kind of off the cuff. So hope you enjoyed it.